started to wonder, and I wondered, which led me to wonder. I had to wonder. I started to wonder. I couldn't help but 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 wonder.
All right, welcome back to City Girls Make Do, your favorite Sex and the City podcast, hosted by your favorite people in the world. One of them being me, Stephanie, and I'm middle-aged.
I'm the other one, and I'm the big boob bonanza issue. Oh yeah, I'm Alex, by the way. Sorry.
Yeah. And we're talking about the Bells of the Balls this week, season 4, episode 10. Can you guess what it's about?
Yeah, there's a lot of, like, testicular conversation.
A lot.
Neither of us have those, from what I'm aware of.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll just, we've never claimed to be sexperts, but we'll let you know that we don't know what the fuck we're talking about this episode. So.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I can comment on some things. We're basically Miranda this episode.
Yeah.
Miranda in this episode is us this episode. So.
I've seen a ball.
I've seen one or two.
I've seen two at a time, I think.
Uh-huh. Yeah, lots of expert information. So
I mean, there was a point where Miranda's like, you could have had 4 balls and I wouldn't have known. And I was like, yeah, I have no fucking clue.
Same! She said that and I'm like, yeah, literally, this is exactly how I feel.
I mean, obviously, I've been in the very close vicinity of them, touched them. Don't know how many are there. I haven't really been prodded around by it.
It's weird because it's like, it's one of those things that's hard to count because they're like together. Like, I get it. Yeah, but they're like, I couldn't tell.
They're like the Olsen twins. Or us.
True. Surprisingly not identical.
True.
I want to get into the episode.
Yeah.
I liked this episode. There were some parts to this episode, disclaimer, where I cringed at the things that were being said. Yeah. But I liked a lot of the content of the episode.
I would say this episode is a cringe compilation.
Yeah.
So, like, a lot of it is, I think, like, all of it is kind of cringe-worthy in some way. But
yeah, well, some of it's cringe because I'm like, really hate the language you're using. Yeah. But then some of it's cringe because it's like, Carrie is just, I can't watch this. So it's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we start at a celebration party for Steve, who has had his testicle removed, and the cancer's gone, and he's got the all clear. So we're having a little couple beers and they're shooting pool. It's all cool.
They're shooting pool, which we have never seen them do in the entire span of the show, just so that we can get Samantha being like, only one ball left.
She's such a fucking bitch. Okay. So she's like, I only have one ball. And then Miranda is like, Carrie needs to hold her back. And she does it again. And Miranda's like, what the fuck, dude? You can't just say that. We're fucking celebrating, our friend having his testicle removed. You can't be making jokes like that. And she's like, oh, whoops, I'm so sorry. She knew what she was doing.
Yeah, I know. She was like, oh, I didn't even think of that. I'm like, you fucking knew. You're not, like, you're smart. But, like, yeah, Steve kind of walks away because I guess, I don't know, Aiden's like, I think he's just kind of embarrassed. Yeah. And Miranda makes the really good points of being like, I really don't think most women give a shit.
No.
And this is where I think where she says the, like, no, that's not where she says it. But she makes similar arguments where she's like, I literally don't care, and I'm pretty sure most women don't care, like, how many balls you have.
And, I mean, Samantha's like, I love balls. I love to have them in my mouth. I love to give them a good tug. And everyone's like, okay.
She's just, like, go off.
She is going off. She's like, I love balls. I love big balls. I love small balls. I love balls. I like...
Like, this is unironically the John Green post.
She does.
like she's like, it's basically like if instead of someone had made that as like a joke post, she's basically saying that, but that's her character.
Oh, legit.
Like, and
also,
it's like, I can respect that. I don't relate to it, but I can respect it.
Also me after like 3 drinks. This is just what I sound like. So big apologies to anyone who's ever been out with me when they're drunk. When I'm drunk, I guess. But yeah, they're all like, okay, kind of not the point. Essentially, the point is Carrie and Miranda are a bit like, it doesn't really matter. It's fine. You can't really tell. And like, it happened. It's his body. But obviously, Aiden's trying to make the point that like, or I feel like he's trying to make this point that it's not really about what women think. It's about how he sees himself. Which is understandable.
Yeah, and I definitely understand that. I can understand kind of feeling self-conscious about that. I mean, especially like, I don't know, you're meeting someone for the first time and it's already weird enough to be like, I have a physical form. But,
Yeah.
And to reveal that physical form. But to be like, I don't know, self-conscious that you're weird or different. I don't know. It's valid of him to be kind of embarrassed about. So
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, like, if I can be real for a sec, if I'm allowed to be real on my own podcast, like, with all my health issues, like, obviously the doctors brought up that, like, I might not be able to have children biologically. And even though I know that, like, there's more to women than just popping out babies, and if it was anyone else, I'd be like, you're still, 100% you. There is a part of you that's, like, feels that you're not enough, And I think that's kind of a similar situation. It's not, and it seems very clear to me at least, that like it's not really what anyone else thinks, and we'll even be able to tell probably. It's just, if you have a dig to your masculinity or your femininity, it hurts wherever way it's coming from.
yeah, it's understandable for
definitely.
sure. Yeah, I think that they try to be understanding about, like, I don't know, Carrie tries to put it into a perspective they'll understand by being like, it's like if you have my little purse, like, a man's not going to notice this little cute purse I have, but if I don't have it, I feel just so naked. It's like, it's exactly like that, Carrie. It's literally the same.
Yeah, Steve had cancer, like, it's the same as having a purse, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And then a guy comes over who sees Sam and is like, oh my god, Sam Jones, hi. And she's like, she does not know who the fuck he is. And
yeah, mood.
He's like, she's so obvious about it. She's like, this is and he's
yeah, she doesn't even try.
No, she doesn't. She's like, oh my god, it's been so long or whatever. He's just like, she's like, and he says, I'm Alan, whatever the fuck. Alan M from Josie and the Pussycats. And he's like, we fucked. Anyway, I'm here to be a plot device and tell you that I had a meeting with Richard Wright and he's looking for PR people. And she's like, oh my god, Richard Wright, I love him. So I don't really understand what he does.
Hotels?
Yeah.
He works at hotels.
I guess he, like, I don't know, he's like a Hilton or something. I don't fucking know. And Sam's like, oh my god, you need to get me a meeting. I need to see him. I love him. Blah, 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 blah. And he's like, okay, I'll put a word in. And she's like, cool, bye, whatever your name is. And he's like, Alan. It's great.
Like, could you imagine actually putting a word in after someone who had slept with you didn't remember who you were? Like, you're just like, yeah, absolutely gonna put a word in. But he does, because she does get a meeting with him. So, like, I can't believe this.
This guy is a saint.
Truly.
Yeah, he does. And that's it, pretty much, for this scene. And then we go to Carrie and Aiden's, well, Carrie's apartment, I guess. But Aiden's there, and they're wearing matching tighty whities. It's disgusting.
I hate it. It's like watching people who are brother and sister when they're like 8 and 5 or something, where it's still just like normal for you to just run around the house in your underwear, but it's like matching because they were both bought by the same parents.
It's gross. It's really gross. Like, I hate when couples dress the same, but wearing the same underwear is sort of somehow grosser.
The only way I would ever find that cute if it was like someone who was like, my girlfriend and I are wearing matching bras, then I'd be like, nice.
Yeah, true. Yeah, if you're gay, you can do it.
Yeah, if you're gay, there's no laws. Like, all is fair in gay war.
Gay,
but if you're straight,
if you're gay, yeah, gay life is like fucking Mad Max. There's no rules. Everything is free. But no, it's also the ugliest underwear.
it really is.
It makes me think of my fucking grandfather. Like, it's gross.
Yeah.
And Carrie's wearing this horrible bra that is like the bra they put you in when you have tit surgery.
It's really weird because it's like you either wear a bra for the support or like for the style.
Yeah.
And this seems to be neither.
No, it is like it's like one of those really like a 50s bra, or like it's like one of those bras that's just like a tube, like there's no cups.
It's like unreasonably pointy at the nipples.
Yeah,
but not in like a Madonna way, but like in a Mad Men way.
Yeah, like it is like a retro bra. Like it doesn't look supportive at all. It probably creates a weird mono boob because there's no cup in it. It doesn't look like it fits right. It's fucking peach. Like, it's not good. It's not good. It is like a training bra.
I also hate this scene because of like the weird joking around that they're doing, which is like, it's fine, but I hate to watch it on television because Carrie's like, oh, well, what'd you think about what Sam said earlier? Do you like to have your balls tugged? And then she like jokes that she kind of goes down with her hand and like goes close to his balls, but then just pulls it away and they giggle and they're like,
yeah, they're disgusting.
It's disgusting. And then Aiden does this gross, like, I don't know. I just really hate I think I washed it out of my my brain because I'm trying to imagine what happened, and I can imagine Aiden's like from the neck up what was happening, but I can't remember what was happening that was bothering me so much from the neck down.
Yeah. Oh, it's gross.
Yeah.
But we skipped a bit, but we'll get back to that. It's fine.
Yeah, big phones. So they're just brushing their teeth, and yeah, love it because Aiden picks up the phone when it's Big, and he's like, "Can I talk to Carrie?" And we see Big in his apartment, and it's like, wait, is this the phone call where he looks like the most depressed man in the world?
No, that's later.
Okay, never mind. This one, he's just walking around a hotel room like drunk and frantic because his movie star girlfriend has not been calling him back, and she kind of ditched him, and he's like, what the fuck am I supposed to do?
Yeah, and he keeps saying like, she can reach me, but I can't reach her.
You see how it works?
Yeah.
See how it works? And then he says it over and over, and Carrie's just like, okay.
Like,
and
it's so bad. And basically she's like, okay, you good? And he's like, yeah, I'm good. Like, I don't even think they come to an agreement or something. He's just like decides to chill out.
Yeah, and Carrie's just like, look, I have to go to bed, because when Aiden hands her the phone, she goes into the closet to take the call, and she comes back out after, and Aiden's kind of just like, why did you go in the closet? Like, what's with that? And she's just like, well, I know you don't like him, and I didn't want to make it awkward, or I didn't want to make it uncomfortable for you. And he's like, you say you're not doing anything, and I believe that you're not doing anything. That's fine. Like, you don't have to, it's fine.
But also, like, he's understandably pissed off because this is the guy that she fucking cheated on him with.
Yeah, and it's basically like, be as transparent about this relationship as possible with me.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and then he gets kind of a little bit defensive about it, which I completely understand because, like, he shouldn't even be with her in the first place. But, like, Carrie's just like, look, like, I'm sorry, like, you know, I had to be there for him because he had girl problems, and Aiden's just like, well, I could take him. Like, I could take him in a fight. He's like, Carrie's like, no one's fighting each other.
Jesus. Okay, this is fucking bad though, because he says, oh, it's like when the Green Hornet fought Batman. Everyone thought Batman would be the winner because Batman's got all the gadgets and Batman's, you know, strong and shit. But the Green Hornet won. And plus, I've got Pete, and Pete's like Kato. And I was like, wait a second. Wasn't Kato Bruce Lee?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about Batman.
Green Hornet.
But wasn't he fighting Batman?
Yeah, but Aiden was comparing himself to the Green Hornet.
Right.
And said his dog was the same as a character played by Bruce Lee.
Okay. That's a thing he said.
Which I'm like, okay, well, that's like a little bit racist. Also, Bruce Lee was like probably, well regarded as like the greatest martial artist of his time. I don't think a dog can do that much, but go off.
Yeah, it's... Okay, sure, Aiden. And so then they go to brunch the next day, and so the conversation we missed was just that Charlotte and Trey were just like talking over dinner, and Charlotte was like, oh, well, my doctor says that the first thing we should do, because it's been 3 months and I'm not pregnant, the first thing we should probably do is like have your sperm checked because it's less invasive than having me checked first. And Trey just gets really defensive about it and kind of is just like, why are you talking to me about dinner? My sperm is fine. Why are you implying that I'm the problem? And then he is like very grumpy, and I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah, he has no problem implying she's the problem. Also, all you have to do is jerk off in a cup, dude. Like, she would have to have... she'd have to be on hormones and then, like, have them removed. Like, it's a whole lot more invasive. She'd have to have a fucking tube stuck up her pussy. Go jerk off in a tube. You do that anyway. Yeah. It's fine.
It's true. He does. So, like, I don't know. But that's the whole scene. And, then we were at the brunch, and they're complaining about all their regular things, because, like, Carrie's complaining about not complaining, but she's like, Aiden doesn't understand. He doesn't have anything to worry about. I don't know how to make him understand that he just can be happy and not worry about things.
Yeah, won't she on him again?
Yeah. And then she's like... She has the brain genius moment of being like, what if they met each other and then he would realize that I love him and not Big? And I'm like, that sounds like it's definitely gonna work.
That sounds really intelligent. Well done.
Yeah.
And the girls are all like, that's fucking stupid. That's stupid. It
is stupid. Yeah, well, it's stupid because she just shouldn't be talking to Big at all anyway, because he's a life ruiner and clearly unhealthy for her, and clearly just Aiden has every reason to be suspicious and uncomfortable around him.
Yeah, he ruined your first time with Aiden. Aiden graciously, like, I guess took you back, quote unquote. And you're gonna let it fucking happen again?
Yeah, it's just, I'm all of Carrie's friends just being like, you're stupid.
I wouldn't. So. Oh my god. If my friend was doing this, I would stop talking to her. I'd be like, you're the stupidest person I've ever met. We're not friends anymore. That's so fucking dumb.
Yeah. And like, they all think she's dumb, but they're basically just like, let's just ignore this and talk about her other stuff.
Yeah.
Which is like good at least, but.
It's terrible. It's really dumb. But
it is terrible.
Yeah, when they talk about Trey, they're just like, why are men so obsessed with their fucking virility, Which I guess is a pretty long-form question, like,
Like, there's a lot to unpack there, but it's like, I feel like it's not a very hard thing to think about.
No.
And understand, like, why people would maybe care about something like that.
Yeah.
So... But, like, even if, like, regardless of what genitals you have, I feel like you can at least, like, sympathize. I don't know. But they're, unable to ever do that. So.
No, they're all, like, terrible people. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, then we, great. Then we got our fucking question, which is, like... Love how just like cisnormative this question is, and it's like
it was the 90s. It
was the 90s.
Yeah.
It's just like her question is, it basically boils down to, are men just women with balls? And it's when she said it, I was like, well, that is just I don't know. I was just like very.
When she said the question, it was like a slap to the face. But even leading up to it, she's like, my male friends called me crying about a breakup. My male friends upset that he had his fucking testicle removed and had a cancer scare. It's like,
like, all my male friends are as emotional as women. Like, oh my god, if they're having feelings, does that mean that we're the same? Do we maybe even live on the same planet? No. Do we have the same zip code, maybe?
Men have feelings? Oh my god.
It's like, I'm gonna scream.
Yeah. It's so very much like, I think this is something that does annoy me, I guess, you know, that women do, where they're like, ugh, why can't men have feelings? And then a man does have feelings, and they're like, that's disgusting, don't have feelings. And it is obviously something that is deeply ingrained within our society, that, like, you know, men need to be tough and blah, 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 blah. But literally, they're just showing the, like, base human amounts of, like, insecurity. And she's like, oh my god, they're just like women.
It sure is a lot. She's like, I have no understanding of men, and also I'm gonna be, like, you know, weirdly sexist about it. It's fine. Yeah. I'm normal. And I'm screaming, you're not normal at my TV. So, so that's her question, and I hate it.
And it doesn't get answered.
It doesn't.
Really.
Thank God, because could you imagine?
Yeah. I'm already drinking. I don't need any more reason.
Yeah. Right. But then we go to Miranda and Steve, who are just being, like, a bit awkward. They're just, like, walking down the street together, and Steve's kind of joking about how, oh, you know, like, you can get a fake ball for a dog. Well, you can also get it for humans.
He's staring at like a dog's testicles, like a little fucking pervert, because he is a pervert. But yes, yeah, I did think that was weird. You know, like, those fucking, like, weird guys who were, like, always, like, talk about, like, dog dicks, like. No.
Yeah, that is very weird. Also, fuck people who don't get their animals spayed and neutered. Like, I feel like since moving to Ontario, I've seen so many more unneutered dogs than I ever saw on the West Coast, and it makes me scream. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, get your fucking pets fixed, you idiots.
Yeah, that's on period. True.
Yeah.
Be a responsible pet owner. This has been a
You should.
This has been a PSA from Seagulls Make Do.
Fucking, I'm Bob Barker, and I'm telling you. So. But yeah, he wants a fake ball, and Miranda's like, are you sure?
Yeah.
This is where she says, I wouldn't know if you had 1 or 4. Which is a good point. But like, it's a good point in the sense of, like, oh, this is why I'm not understanding. But Steve's also just like, look, I want to feel better about myself, so I'm considering doing this thing. And, like, so she does end up being fine with it, because she's like, oh, I mean, we don't see her say it, but she does go with him to the doctor later. So
yeah. And he's like, I would like you to come with me, as you seem to be, you're a responsible adult. You're kind of like my mum, so.
Yeah. You hate to hear it, but you're right.
Like, yeah. It's weird, but, like, that is what. This is like when I bring my mum to serious doctor's appointments, because I'm like, oh, you're a grown up. I know I'm a grown up, but you're more grown up than me. Except, you know, she's my actual mother, and I'm 23.
Yeah.
But yeah. So she agrees to go along with him and, like, figure it out, which is cool of her, I guess. And then where do we go?
Oh, then we meet Richard.
James Remar.
It sure fucking is.
It sure fucking is. I do love him. I do love to see him. Even if he is a dick.
Yeah, I mean, his character is one of those, like, love to hate characters on this show, because he will be with us for a bit. He is one of Samantha's main love interests of the show.
Yeah.
I guess spoilers, but he'll be here for a bit. And I mean, yeah, starting out, I was like, fuck this guy. And then you kind of like him more, and then by the end, you're like, fuck this guy.
Like, James Remar always plays a scumbag, so it makes sense that he is a scumbag.
Yeah, I mean, the only other role I'm super familiar with him in is Dexter.
True. Which he's a scumbag in.
I mean, he's like dead.
But he's still he's still a scumbag. He's a cop.
He is yeah, well, that's true. Well, he's a scumbag because he is the one who was like, hey, what if instead of killing people, you murdered, like, animals? And then, hey, well, what if you only kill the bad people?
Yeah.
So, like, he very much is a serial killer enabler. So I guess he probably isn't the best in Dexter either.
No.
Plus, he only exists for exposition, so it's like, this is a joke. But anyway, he's here. He's in a suit.
Yep.
He's meeting Samantha.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, he's interviewing her, and he's like, you know, you're small fish. You only do parties and club openings. And she's like, what events do you think you're going to have in your hotel? Nuclear fission? And
Yeah.
it's fucking great. I love it.
Yeah.
But he basically says, like, maybe it would be better if you had a man working with you.
Uh-huh. Yeah. He's like, well, you could meet with my guy and share the work. And then he's basically just like, look, read between the lines. I'm doing a lot of business with men.
Yeah.
And she's very furious, like, very understandably, like, okay, you're basically fucking telling me to my face that you're not hiring me because I'm a woman.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. And he's like, well, you know, don't get emotional because you're a woman. Like, oh. And then we cut to, like, the girls having lunch, and Sam's obviously furious. Like, what the actual fuck, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and yeah, they kind of all tell their stories. Like, Charlotte's kind of like, yeah, I cried at work exactly one time, and, like, for my entire 10 years working there, and they brought it up constantly. Like, they kept thinking I was gonna cry at, like, everything.
Yeah.
Just because I cried one time. And but Carrie's story is that she cried to her editor once because she was like, I'm having a bad time, so I missed my deadline, but she was actually in the Hamptons having a good time.
I mean,
so she was sneaky.
Same. I've definitely cried to people when, like, I just wanted to get away with something. I definitely used the whole, like, femininity and, oh, I'm a pathetic woman to get away with shit before.
I mean, if people are sexist enough to buy it, then it's kind of just like,
exactly,
that's on you.
Exactly. So. Anyone who's not, like, an idiot would be like, oh, grow up. Mm-hmm. Take responsibility for your actions, and I'll be like, okay, I'm sorry. But most of the time, they're just like, oh, bless. Oh, you crying? And I'm like, yeah. You know, I've definitely done that before. But
yeah.
Also, I get where they're coming from. You know, being seen as something that you're actually not is fucking annoying. And you definitely get treated differently if you're a woman. 100%. I don't think anyone can say otherwise. Yeah.
It's you're either too emotional and you can't handle anything, or you're too much of a bitch and bossy if you're the opposite. So it's like there's not really a middle ground where you're not, you know, gonna be pissing people off. So
I don't know any woman, myself included, who hasn't been like, oh my god, I'm speaking too much, or you know, oh my god, I'm talking too much, or I'm too emotional, or I'm this, I'm that, blah, 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 blah. Oh, I'm a bitch, I'm this. Like, it's always in your head. You're always a voyeur. There's, you know, friend of the show, Margaret Atwood, as she famously said, you are your own voyeur.
She did say that, and she is a friend of the show.
Yep. So.
Yeah. Notable listener of the podcast.
Margaret Atwood. She's Canadian. I assume you're all friends.
I know everyone, so yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But the whole conversation kind of ends with Samantha being like, I'm going back in guns blazing, and I'm fucking making him, he's gonna beg me to take this job. And I'm like, fucking go off, and good. He better. So.
Yeah, I do love her, like, resilience. You can't say she's not resilient.
Me too.
And she also says that she also says she's never cried once in her entire career.
I cannot imagine.
Couldn't be me.
At all. Could not be me. Like, I've cried at, like, almost every job I've had. Like, even, like, I cried multiple times when I worked at a deli. Like, I was just serving meat and cheese. Like, I don't know. And the number of times I cried in grad school is, like, unfathomable. So,
it's weird. Like, I cry a lot. But, like, I cried at my retail job because I had to stand up all day. So I started crying because I was like, oh my God, what the fuck?
That's valid. The thing about working retail is that, like, if you are able to be the kind of person who is not crying, I'm like, I mean, I'm applauding you anyway, whether you're crying or not. But, like, if you're able to, like, make it without wanting to die all the time because customers are just such fucking assholes, like,
yeah,
I don't know, like, props.
I cried like a baby there. I don't think I ever cried, like, during a play or anything. Cried at the end. I haven't cried during. It's weird. When I'm doing something I like, I don't cry. I might wiggle my nose if I'm gonna cry, but I do that constantly. Yeah, if you ever meet me in real life and I start wiggling my nose, it's probably because I'm trying to not cry.
If I'm trying to not cry, it just doesn't work. If I need to cry, I literally can't do anything to stop it, and I just am a mess. So,
fair enough. But yeah, then we move on. But I just we stand Sam as always.
We do, because I could never be the person to be basically told to my face, hey, I'm a sexist asshole and I'm not hiring you. I could never be like, I'm going back and fucking making this happen. Like, I would be like, I'm never going back there again, because it's one, embarrassing, and two, I don't want to work for him anyway. But she's just full on, yeah.
I would drag the shit out of him. If someone straight up said that to me, I would just drag them for no mercy, but I would never go back. I'd be like, fuck you, you're a dickhead. If you don't want to hire me some woman, then you're stupid. Adios. And then I'd do the...
Yeah, have fun having, like, a second-rate hotel business with fucking, like, run by men. Like, okay.
Have fun fucking jerking off in a circle. I'm gonna piss off. Yeah. It's weird. Yeah. But then
It's weird.
Oh, dear. Then we go to Carrie. And this is cringe compilation. This is cringe inducing. So she's at the cabin in the woods, the country home of Aiden's, and she gets a call from Big, and this is where he looks like this is where he looks like the saddest person in the world.
Yeah, it's just like he's wearing all black and, like, the lights are turned out, and then there's, like, a cigarette burning on the table, and, like, the blinds are drawn, so it's just very dark, and I'm like, fuck. Like, dude's just going through a time, and it's good to me because I hate him. So,
you know, in I know I always reference Mad Men, but you know when, like, Don would get really drunk and sad and he was just sway?
Yes.
It was like that. It was like he was just, like, having his Don Draper sway moment.
Oh my God. God, I just had a realization that Sex and the City and Mad Men have the exact same ending, because they both basically just end with the protagonist being like, back on my bullshit.
Yes. 100%. 100%. You're like, oh, they're going to move on to a new life, a new career. Everyone else around them, like, has a resolution. But the protagonist goes, I'm about to do the one thing that will fuck me up.
Yeah. I refuse. It's that one image that's like, I am a dumb bitch and I will never change. 100%. That's the end of the show.
Everyone else grows as a character, and the protagonist just like, no.
It's the one meme of like the two guys with the arms clasped, and it's like Don Draper, Carrie Bradshaw. I'm a dumb bitch who will never change.
100%. They're the same character. They're the same character.
Yeah, there's no difference.
No.
So.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fucking hell. But yeah, big phones. And he's like, she broke up with me. And Carrie's like, oh no, you know. And she's like, well, that sucks. And he says, oh, can we go out for a drink? And she's like, oh, I can't. I'm in the country. And he's like, and then she says, oh, fucking dumb bitch move of the century, I suppose. Says, oh, well, you know, we're like 40 minutes out, so...
Yeah, like, I'd invite you over, but when we're like 40 minutes without traffic away, so... And it's like, holy shit, that's like closer than me driving into Toronto just to like go fuck around, like...
Yeah, I'm like 40 minutes, that's...
Yeah.
That's less time than it takes me to get into the middle of the city. So
like that's people's commute to work in the mornings. Like
yeah.
Yeah.
What?
So
like, what the
she's
fuck? She's like
really stupid.
Nah, she's fucking stupid. And she's like, oh,
like, what did she expect him to do?
She's like, oh, it's maybe an hour or two with the traffic. And he's like, it's Thursday evening. And she's like, yeah.
Yeah.
So he says, all right, I'll come over. I'll be there for an hour and then I'll go home. Which, if anyone ever says that, they're fucking lying.
Yeah, no, he's a fucking liar. Like, he's Mr. Big. Like, what do you fucking expect him to do? So, plus he's a mess.
Oh, dear.
You'd think before this, though, he would have asked, like, oh, is Aiden here before coming all the way out? But he's also a fucking dumb bitch, so.
And it's Aiden's house. Like, it's not even like it's Carrie's apartment and Aiden's there. It's Aiden's place.
Yes. Yep. And then she goes outside and Aiden's just doing shit, like doing chores and shit. And she's just like, that was big. And
she's like, some of y'all are about to be real mad at me.
Yeah.
But it must be said. And she's like, I invited the guy I cheated on you with to the house. Yay. And Aiden's like, I don't want him here. He says that verbatim. I do not want him here.
Yeah.
And Carrie's just like
yeah.
Too late.
It's his property. Like, he can say that.
She could phone
She
him.
tries to explain herself.
She could phone him back and be like, look, I'm sorry. Aiden really doesn't want you here, and I don't think it's for the best if you come over. Maybe have some other friends.
Absolutely could.
Yeah.
She has no fucking spine. Yeah, why is she his only friend? I think it's because all his other friends are probably men and he's like not allowed to be emotional in front of them because of the masculinity of it all.
Yeah.
And so he can only talk to Carrie about it probably. But Carrie's just like, oh, Aiden, like, come on. Like, haven't you ever had a girl break your heart? And then she realizes that she's the one who did that. Mm-hmm. So... It's that was probably like the cherry on top for me of like wanting to die watching this entire scene.
Yeah. He just looks at her like disgusted. But
like, are you fucking kidding me? But
he just realizes it's too late to do anything now. So he just goes inside and is like, fucking hell.
Yeah.
Oh,
but so yeah, that's that's them, and then we go to Miranda and Steve again. They're at the doctor. They're at the Ball doctor, Dr. Ball's office, and Miranda's just like holding one of the fake balls that they could have implanted into him, and she drops it, and she's just like, "Oops, I dropped the ball," and
and neither of them laugh. It's very funny though.
I thought it was really funny. Then the doctor's like, okay, well, it comes in 4 sizes: extra small, small, medium, large. And Steve's just like, well, Miranda, what size are my balls? And Miranda's just like, I don't know, medium? He's like genuinely offended that she said he was the second biggest ball size.
And instead of the doctor being like, oh, well, we'd take a measurement of your remaining testicle and then compare that to whichever size is closest, he just looks at her like, yeah, what size is he, Miranda?
Yeah, Miranda, what size? And I don't know why he's offended. It's the second biggest size you could be. I feel like it would be embarrassing for someone to say large, because then it's like, what the fuck is he packing?
You don't want to have huge testicles. You don't.
I don't. That just sounds uncomfortable if you're sitting on them at that point.
And like, I couldn't tell you. I really, honest to God, couldn't tell you what the last guys I dated, like what size balls they had.
Yeah, no idea.
No.
Truly no fucking idea.
I don't know. They're average. I might be like, they're a little bit smaller than average, or they're smaller than I thought. But like, or like, oh, they're a bit big. But like, I don't fucking know. They're just there.
Yeah, no idea. But, yeah, this whole situation's just really awkward. And then the doctor kind of mentions that, oh, these are, still being tested for safety, but, it's totally fine. And Miranda's just like, yeah, no. Mm-hmm. Like, if it's not approved, you're not getting this done, Steve.
She's like, you're not.
End of story.
Yeah, he's like, oh, they're safe. And she's like, they said that about the Ford Pinto. Do you want a Ford Pinto next to your penis? And he shakes his head like a child. This really, it truly is like going to the doctor with your mother. And she's like, you're not doing that.
Yeah.
It's exactly that. It's exactly that. It's weird.
I'm so happy she went with him. Could you imagine the kind of shit that he has done at the doctor before he had Miranda go with him? Like, it's fine. It's normal.
I'm so worried. Like, he's like a 30-year-old man.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, oh, like when he had the cancer diagnosis, he didn't know what stage he was at or really understand what was even going on. And he also was about to put it in his body, despite the fact that it's like not FDA approved.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
What the fuck, Steve?
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever he's thinking, I think he's just not thinking. So
no,
it's fine.
I don't think he has a brain, or brain cells.
I don't think they did either. I don't think no brain.
No.
We go to the sperm doctor now. So we were at the ball doctor, and now we're at the other ball doctor.
Yeah, apparently in a neurologist office, at the same time, in a different neurologist office, this is going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Trey is at the clinic for his sperm test, and Charlotte brought him some jugs so he can crank it, because she knows how much he loves jugs.
She's so enthusiastic. She's like, oh my god, look, she has really big boobs. Oh, she has really big boobs. Like, yeah, it's called jugs.
Uh-huh. I guess this is like a titty tally, because it's kind of just like, she does open the magazine and we do see some titties. They're just two-dimensional because it's on a paper, but it still counts, I think.
I think because of the size of the boobs, because they are very large boobies, that kind of, like, even though they're not in the flesh, that kind of gives it a titty tally.
Yeah.
Because of the amount of tit. We rarely see a big boobie on this show, and I appreciate it.
Yes. The strength and sheer velocity of these titties just makes them really pop out of the page, and, like, they're real.
They're fantastic.
They're fantastic, and they count for, I think they count. So
3-dimensional titties, love them.
Mm-hmm. You gotta love them. I do love a 2-dimensional titty though too. I gotta say. So,
they're like, yeah. So Trey's like, I just can't, get the sale up because he's nervous. He's nervous.
He's nervous, yeah.
So that's when Charlotte's like, look at these boobies, which really turned me on, I suppose. And then she's like, she gives him a little kiss on the neck, a little tuggeroony of the old balls.
Uh-huh. Yeah, she took a play out of Samantha's book, and, I mean, how else are the sperm supposed to come out if she's not pulling it? So,
I'm drinking water at the moment, so be careful.
I'm so sorry.
It nearly went all over my mic.
So she just, jerks him off, and he's just like, oh, get the cup! And,
which is quick, I suppose.
So it was pretty quick. It was like under a minute. I mean, I'm happy they didn't drag it out, because you imagine if they made us watch the scene for longer than a minute. But yeah, and I guess this is really the culmination of this whole story, is that he comes into the cup and then via voiceover from Carrie, we learn that his sperm is perfectly fine. So,
That's it.
then we smash cut from him nutting in a cup to Richard at his desk playing with some handballs. So,
Do you get it?
you know, the symbolism.
Do you get it?
The symbolism. So Samantha's back and she's just like, just tell me why you won't hire me. Like, I want you to say the words. I want you, she wants him to explicitly say, you're a woman, I won't hire you. And it turns out that this is not actually the reason. Because he says,
you fucked my architect, which is the guy that introduced, I guess, meant to be the guy who, like, put the word in.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
And she's like, he's like, you fucked my architect. So I don't really want you fucking anyone else. And it also makes it awkward, you know? And she's like, ugh. And he basically says, like, you might want to think about your reputation or whatever.
Yeah, just the things he says are... It's unfortunate, and she's obviously pissed. She's just like, this is just stupid. Like, she storms out because obviously she's pissed off, and he kind of calls after her.
Yeah, but before she storms out, she says, if I were a man, you would have shaken my hand and given me the keys to my office, and then storms out. Oh,
that is true. She does say that, and it fucking rules.
Oh, it's gorgeous. And then he calls after her, and he's like, Samantha, please, no, Samantha. And she, like, frantically calls the elevator, and she gets in, she cries. She cries.
It's almost the scene from A Hot Rod. He's just like, no, babe, no. Babe, wait. Babe. But he just stays in his office the whole time, basically. And doesn't even really get up. And the difference being that in Hot Rod, she leaves because she's happy, and here she's leaving because she wants to start crying. So, and she can't show her emotions in front of him, so she cries when she gets to the elevator. And then we find out that
we find out that he offered her the job the next day because he liked her balls. Get it?
Unfortunately and regrettably, I get it.
Yeah.
But, like, okay, good for you, Richard.
Do you know what I will say is, like, this is just a sort of side comment. You know when people are, like, when you use balls as a metaphor, talk about someone's courage or whatever. Do you know what I kind of hate more? This might be a hot take. When people switch that to ovaries.
Oh, I hate that so much, yeah.
It's so much more, because if someone says, like, oh, you got a lot of balls on you, I'm like, okay. If someone says, you got some fantastic ovaries, I'm like, no, I don't.
Like, I feel like part of it is because it's an expression that, like, yes, it does have sexist roots in it, but it's an expression that is so commonplace. And then it's one of those things where it's like people are trying to reclaim it as, like, to be not sexist anymore, but in a very turfy way, I guess.
Yeah, it's like in a way that also draws attention to how sexist it is. It's like, wait, what? It's like if you said, you know how you say, oh, suck a dick, as an insult. If you went, suck my clit. If someone said that, you'd be like, that's disgusting. And, like, it's just, I think it's just because it is a turn of phrase now that it doesn't seem to really, like, bother me too much. If you have an issue with it being sexist, just use a different phrase, because there are plenty.
Yeah, and I definitely get having an issue with it, because I definitely am like, it's sexist, it sucks. It's like, I don't know, there's just so many things wrong with just equating masculinity to genitals in general. Yeah. And also the idea that, like, what your genitals are have to do with how much of a, like, human you are.
Yeah.
But,
I would just say spine.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a much better one. That does not remind me that people have genitals. So
No, you've got a lot of, you've got a real spine. There you go.
You got a real fucked up spine there.
You got scoliosis.
Like, yeah, exactly. Like, holy shit. Like, what a coward. That person sure has fucking scoliosis over
You
there.
need to work on your posture, bitch. You fucking coward. No, but like,
yeah.
just like, maybe you should do some core exercises. Do it by yoga. Work on your fucking posture, because you ain't got a spine. No, just say
That would be so much better.
Yeah, just say someone's a fucking pussy. I mean, which I guess also has sexist language, but whatever. Pussy's a fun word to say. Pussy is more fun to say than balls.
I think it also just really depends on the person saying it. Because if I heard like a cis man being like, what a fucking pussy, I'd be like, hey, I really don't love that, to hear you say that. But like, if I were to hear almost anyone else say it, I mean, it really depends on the context, but like,
I just feel
there's
like maybe
kind of a difference.
I forget that like cis het men can speak, because in my
well, they can't.
I know, in my brain they can't. Like, it's like the teachers in Charlie Brown, where they're just like the wah wah when they speak, for me.
Yeah, it really for me is like when you go on Discord and someone has spoilered like an entire paragraph of text. That's what their normal text looks like when a man is talking on Discord to me. It's just like, oh, I need to click this to read it. I'll just skim over it.
I just can't read it. If a man's fucking talking, I can't read it.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening.
If they're speaking to me, it just goes into white noise, and my brain starts playing Britney.
Yeah, same.
Sorry about it. I've just evolved. This is my X-Men mutation.
What a powerful fucking mutation.
Oh, I'm living the best life. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway,
speaking of men.
Carrie's out here. Yeah, speaking of men, unfortunately, Carrie's out here wishing and hoping and praying that Big just doesn't show up, because it seems to have been a lot longer than, like, has this not been like a full day? I don't understand.
Says it's been 2 hours.
Okay, and so he shows up.
It's supposed to take an hour tops, and it's been 2. So she's like, maybe he's not coming. Maybe he fucking died. Like, I can get out of this awkward situation.
Honestly, that's me. Like, I have the exact same reaction. Like, oh my god, what if I don't have to deal with this because the person died? Like me, like the day before our election, being like, what if Andrew Scheer died in his sleep? What if he had a heart attack? Then he couldn't win the election, and regrettably he lived. But
R.I.P. No, I remember like being about 7, and I was in a school play, and my mum was late, and I was like, well, she died. And I was like crying, and the teacher had to like pull me out of the room, talk to me, phone my mother, and my mum had to be like, I'm not dead. There's just traffic. And I was like 7. I was like, what if you die in the traffic? She's like, I'm not gonna fucking die. Anyway, when people say anxiety is not something you're born with, bring that shit up.
yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah. I know. I think until the age of about like 19, I just assumed my family was dead if they were as much as 2 minutes late.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Honestly, I pretty much still am like that now, just because, like, generally if anyone is ever picking me up for anything in my family, it's my mom, and my mom will be like, tell me what time your bus is supposed to get there, and I'll be there 20 minutes early. So if she's late, I'm like, what the fuck happened?
I've just started making my mom do that because of me thinking that she's gonna be dead if she's not there, or someone's gonna kill me. I'm like, yeah, can you just like get there and wait like 10 minutes? She's like, yeah, I'll bring my Kindle, it's fine.
Oh, that's sweet. Oh, so Big does show up. He didn't die,
unfortunately.
And he just is sitting in his car. It's pouring rain, by the way. He's sitting in his car, and Carrie sees him, and he kind of honks so that she'll come out because he doesn't want to get out of his car.
It's so rude. It's so rude. It's also pissing down with rain.
Yeah, it's awful. And Carrie's like wearing this like white shirt and has to run out to his car and be like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? Just come into the house." And Big is just like,
he's like, "I don't want to come in." Fucking hell.
Like, what the fuck did you expect coming all the way out here? Like, he's like, "Why don't we go to a bar and get a drink?" And she's just like, fucking where? You know, we're in the middle of nowhere, right? Like, there's nothing here, which we proved last week is a lie, but I think Carrie's just dumb. So,
yeah. Also, he just drove there, so what fucking bar is he thinking about?
I don't know. I was wondering the exact same thing because he drove himself there. He didn't have his personal driver.
Yeah.
He took himself there. And Carrie's like, "Oh, well, let's just come inside and have a drink and talk." And what fucking world? Okay, so she wants him to only stay for like an hour, but then she is giving him drinks.
Yeah. And he's driving. He doesn't have his driver there. Also, I just wanted to make note that I did accidentally make a reference to OSW reviews, even though I doubt the crossover for this show and that show is a thing, but whatever. Anyway, but yeah, like, he drove himself there. It's not like he can get a lift back. It's not like he can just call a cab and pick up his car tomorrow morning. It's so stupid. Yeah, they give him wine.
Yeah, he's been drinking for an hour straight, and he's very clearly drunk because he's like mumbling to himself. He's not even talking to Carrie. He's not talking to Aiden. He is reading the actress, like his ex-girlfriend actress's interview in InStyle because Carrie has her magazine there, and he's just being like, he's just
like,
mumbling to himself.
Vegan. She's not fucking vegan. Also, why didn't she fucking hide this magazine?
I have no idea. It's Carrie. I have no idea. And he goes to light a cigarette, and Carrie's like, "Nope, you're not smoking in the house. You can't do that." And Big's like, "Well, I guess I'd better leave then." And Carrie's just like, "You can't fucking drive," because he stands up and he's just a fucking mess. Like, what did you expect? You gave him so much wine.
He's like falling over drunk. He is falling over.
Yes. Yeah, and he's like, "Well, I'll call my driver." And Carrie's like, "It's a fucking hour from New York. You are not calling your driver. You are sleeping on the couch."
And Aiden goes outside and he just like throws his pillows on him and says, "You can't drive? Stay on the couch." And he's like, "Woo." And he does.
Yeah, fucking baby. I hate him.
He is baby, but not in a good way.
No. Oh, no, he's criminal baby. Like, evil baby.
Boss baby?
Yes, he is boss baby. 100%. Like, just everything about it that's what he is.
Yeah.
So then we go back to Miranda and Steve. She took him out for dinner, but now they're back at her place, and she gives him a book called A Positive Outlook to Healing. Oh. And, yeah, I don't think Steve can read, but okay. And then Steve is
bold of
like,
you to assume I'm literate.
Yeah, Steve's just like, "I was really counting on that fake ball, Miranda." And so she, I guess, to cheer him up, decides that she's gonna fuck him, because I guess that makes him kind of realize that he's still sexy to her, I guess.
Well, because he says, like, "Who's gonna want to fuck a uniball bartender?" And then she fucks him. Like,
it's not like you need to disclose that before you have sex with someone. It's not like you have like an STI or something.
No,
it's not like you people are probably not going to notice. But yeah. So I guess she's kind of like, "Look, I still think you're sexy."
Yeah,
and then
but it's kind of implied she does it like because she feels bad for him. Which,
yeah, kind of.
I guess take what you can get, but like, okay. Anyway, yeah, they fuck. And this will definitely not have consequences in the future.
Never.
No.
Especially not ones related to things that can come out of your balls. So
wrap it up.
So then last part of the episode, and truly just, this is so much. I was wondering when this episode was going to come. This is Galaxy Brain. This is a lot. This is like the shit that we live for. This is why we're podcasting. So, okay, so it's the next morning. Aiden is me. Okay, Aiden is Sam in Lord of the Rings being
this
like,
is the most
I'm not being an asshole.
aggressive thing I've ever witnessed.
He is. He's like, I'm gonna be the pettiest guy alive, and I'm fucking living for it. Because he's just like, I'm gonna bang my basketball against the wall. I'm not even making shots at the hoop.
No.
I'm just banging the ball on the wall, and it's so loud. And Carrie's just gotten up, and Big is kind of just like inside, lying on the couch, and he's like, what the fuck? It's so loud. I'm gonna die. Because he's obviously hungover.
Yes. And Carrie's like, Aiden's shooting hoops. By the way, if you want me to be part of your life, you should probably talk to him and be mates, because, like, if he doesn't trust you, then I can't be around you anymore. And Big's like, what the fuck do you want me to say to him? And Carrie's like, figure something out. It's so stupid. I don't know why she thought this would be a good idea.
She is like, he's playing ball. You're both guys. Guys love balls. You're gonna love to hang out with each other because you got balls in common. But by ball, I mean sports this time, but it's still the ball episode, so I still have to talk about balls because I love to talk about balls, and that's what you have in common, plus me. So he does go outside and shoot the ball with Aiden.
She's like, he's like, we have nothing in common. She's like, well, me. Yeah, we both fucked the same person, so we should be friends.
It's a lot to have in common with someone.
I suppose so.
You know, I guess. But so that he goes outside, he kind of tries to be nice. He's kind of just like, you know, Aiden's like throwing the ball, not really answering him. And, he's kind of like, hey, pass the ball to me and I'll make a shot. And Aiden's like, okay. And he slams the ball into the mud and then he picks it up and he throws it at Big's chest and gets his shirt like all muddy.
It's so aggressive. It's so aggressive.
It's so aggressive. And then they just start throwing the ball back and forth at each other like animals. And then they full on start fighting. Like, they're scrapping in the fucking mud.
They are mud wrestling. They're mud wrestling. And Carrie hears Pete barking and is like, stop it. Stop fighting.
Stop it. You're middle-aged.
Yeah, which is such a weird thing to say. Also,
it's one of the most iconic lines of the series to me.
No, I've never quite understood what middle-aged actually means. Like, I feel like it's like you're halfway dead, which is a bit rude to Aiden, who I think is only like in his 30s. So is he gonna die in his 70s? Yeah. Is that what she's predicting? I
have no idea, but either way, it's very. It's very funny to me that she's like, "This is why you should stop fighting. You're middle-aged."
Not don't fight people, but. Like, don't. I watched two middle-aged men fight the other day. I don't think I mentioned this on the show. Mm-hmm. It was really bad.
Oh god! Like they're gonna throw each other's backs out.
No, one of them fucking threw a glass at the back of the other guy's head. There was blood.
Jesus Christ!
It was really bad. It happened in a fucking like. Semi-bougie restaurant in Covent Garden, which is like the posh, that's where all the theatres in London are.
Okay. And
it happened there, and it happened literally about a foot away from me and my friend who were having lunch. And
Jesus Christ.
I nearly got fucking knocked over. I managed to move like just before they fucking fell into my chair. And obviously my friend was gripping me super tight, like, are you okay? Are you okay? I was like, yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah.
But they fell into a table, another table got overturned, and then, a guy got fucking glassed.
That's fucked. And this is lunch? This isn't even 11 p.m. drinks. This is fucking lunch.
This is fucking 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a Wednesday.
Love it.
Yeah, it was the amount of drama. And one woman was standing on top of her chair filming it. And I can't believe I didn't say World Star.
Oh, that would have been me. I'm the one filming it.
And then she called the police and me and my friend were like, should we leave? And we did. But we paid for our meal first because we're not bad people.
Yeah. That's valid, though.
But yeah, that was the craziest fight I've ever seen. And they were two middle-aged men. And it was 3:00 on a Wednesday afternoon. It wasn't like... and the amount of, like, shitty pubs and clubs I've been in.
Yeah.
It was weird. It was very strange. But yeah, it doesn't get quite that bloody. They just seem to be sort of...
No, it just gets muddy.
They just seem to be sort of like wrestling. But then Pete bites Big's ass, which, shout out to Pete, MVP of the fucking episode.
Yeah, Pete is definitely my top for the episode.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that pretty much stops it, though.
Yeah, that stops it, and then for some reason they're fine. Like, they're just chill. Like, the last scene of the episode is Big is cleaned up, they're inside, and him and Aiden just get along now, and he's now telling Aiden the same story he told Carrie over and over and over and over again. The, like, she can reach me, but I can't reach her.
And Aiden's like, that's fucked up,
dude.
Yo,
what?
Dude, that's fucked up. What the fuck? Like, it's weird.
Yeah, and Carrie's just like, okay, I guess this is my life now. So,
and Carrie's like, I don't understand, man.
Yeah.
And, you know.
It's probably because this whole show is just has bad writing. It's probably why. So, but that's episode.
That's episode. So I guess ranking?
Yeah. Well, Carrie's my bottom.
Pete's
the
top,
top.
Carrie's bottom, yeah.
Yeah. I think Samantha's probably my top of the girls because of the fucking, just how much the audacity she had. She just fucking went in there and she was like, I'm standing up for myself. I am worthy of being hired and fuck you for thinking otherwise. And I thought that was pretty fucking great. I don't know, I guess Miranda, Charlotte, then Carrie. Like, I don't Charlotte really didn't do anything interesting this episode. So.
Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree. I think, so Samantha just displayed, like, you know, big clit energy.
Fucking Christ.
See, it doesn't work. Doesn't work. I tried, it doesn't work.
Like, it's... The mental image I'm getting is just... Whereas when someone says big dick energy, I just don't even think twice. Yeah. I just don't... The thing is, I don't think... It doesn't make me visualize the image of a dick.
No.
Because dick is so ingrained in my brain as just being, like, more of an ego thing.
Yeah.
Whereas someone says big clit energy, and I'm, like, literally... in my head, in the forefront of my brain, envisioning, like, a huge clit. Like, I think it's literally just impossible to be otherwise. And I think I should blame society for normalizing dicks so much. But,
I would.
Yeah.
I'm doing a social experiment in this episode, and I'm picking out the hypocrisies of our society. I'm pointing them out, I'm highlighting them, and I'm doing nothing about it.
Yeah.
That's my activism, everyone.
Love it. Love it.
But no, I totally agree. I think Samantha, she had a goal. She achieved it, even though she jumped over a hurdle. 100% character development.
Yeah. Big spine energy.
Big spine energy. 100%. Big, solid fucking spine. Terminator. Steve Austin, not the wrestler, the bionic man with his metal spine. That's the energy she brought forth, and I appreciate that.
Me too. She's dry Samantha this week, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, and yeah, Charlotte was fine, and Miranda was fine. But yeah, Carrie was just being a fucking idiot as usual. So
yeah.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Questions?
Yeah, if you want to send us questions, send them to citygirlsmakedo.tumblr.com/ask. We currently have one question for this week. It is from friend of the show, guest of the next week of the show.
Yeah.
Friend Summer, aka Ghosty Princess on Tumblr. She has asked the question, horses are... Okay, so maybe a little bit of a preface to this. This was supposed to be for last week's episode, but then it was submitted after we recorded. So
context.
Yes, context. Horses are out, obviously, but if you could have your own large animals to ride into town, what would they be?
Moose.
Ooh, yeah. Those are so much better than horses.
And they're huge.
Yeah, it just makes me think of fucking Lee Pace in The Hobbit riding in on his fucking... Is it an elk? I don't even know, but he rides in and I'm just like, fuck, this rules. This is badass.
They're cool. I remember really in Dragon Age Inquisition, they had mounts, and like you could. This is why this game is fucking great, because you can have a horse, which like okay, or I think I had some like pre-order DLC or something where I had like a fucking lizard. Like, I had a gigantic lizard, and I also, what I usually had was a giant elk. That was my main mount. Otherwise, it was, like, a fucking, like, mini dragon. It was sick.
Hell yeah.
And I'm like, why would I ever have a fucking horse?
Yeah.
When you're offering me a fucking elk and a lizard. It's great.
There's fucking no contest.
100%.
I think the first thing that came to mind for me was like a really big dog. Because I remember having a dream when I was a kid, and I didn't realize for so long that this was a dream. I thought it was real. But I had a dream when I was a kid that I was downtown in my city, and there was a very, very big dog, like the size of Clifford, but like brown, and someone was like riding on its back, like as if it was in like the car lanes. And I just think that's neat. I would love to ride into town on a really big dog.
Yeah, but all right, so like Clifford size, not like a Newfoundland or something. Okay, yeah, Clifford size.
Clifford size. Because if it was like the size of like a Newfoundlander dog or something, like that's just cruel.
Yeah, that
like
is...
they're not big enough to be ridden. Yeah,
I mean, you're small. I don't know.
That's true.
I did always like in Rugrats where he rode around on Spike. I was like, oh, I'm still
That's
a child. I could ride around on the dog. And then I was like, no.
I mean, I am. Yeah, I think I'm canonically bigger than Tommy Pickles, though.
I think you are. I don't know how big he is. He's 6 foot tall.
I don't know, but okay, well then fuck. I guess he's bigger than me. But yeah, dog.
Dog's pretty cool. I'm looking now at the Dragon Age Inquisition mounts, and there is one which was a horse which I had, but it was like an undead one.
Okay, that's fucking cool.
Yeah,
because if a horse is gonna be existing, it should at least have the what's the word I'm thinking of? Have the good decency to be dead. So I think that's valid.
Yeah, it was called the Bog Unicorn. So it had like a sword sticking out of its head, which was fucking sick.
Okay, that rules. Because the thing is, unicorns are valid.
Yeah, unicorn, that's valid. Horses, no, because horses are just fucking... Horses are the fucking cis straight men of animals, right? A unicorn is at least, gay.
At the very least,
At the very least, a unicorn is gay.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, no, like a Pegasus, a gay.
Yeah.
Any sort of mythical horse. A centaur? Cool. But just a vanilla horse is very boring.
Centaurs kind of are on thin fucking ice for me because, like, they're, like, half men. So I'm kind of just like,
Double bad.
Plus, they just have too many legs and I hate it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I would maybe go for, like, I'm trying to think. Maybe a cow, but then cows aren't very fast and I kind of want speed. So maybe like a panther or something.
True. That would be pretty cool.
What about a shark?
It'd be hard to ride into town on that unless you lived on like a
if I live on
town.
If I was in Venice.
Yeah.
Then it'd be fine. Like, yeah, I'll just move to Venice and ride on my fucking shark. It's fine. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's my plan then.
Checks out to me.
Yeah.
That's our only question for the week. So, if you want to send us questions next week, you can do it. You should do it.
Yeah.
Because we love to read them. But if you also want to do other stuff, you could send us money.
This is a great link.
Yeah. you can either send us a question and or you could send us money at Patreon. You could go to patreon.com/citygirlsmakedo and you could become a patron. You can donate at 3 different levels because you could give us $1 and you could get, like, you know, the special Discord role. You get access to the Mummy mailbag. You get access to the Looker and Nanu secret Discord channel of pictures. If you join our Discord, you can see all those cool exclusive pictures. If you give us $5, you get all of that, plus a specialer Discord role, plus a shout out on the podcast, plus you can submit stuff for Steve Voice. So shout out to our $5 donors. We've got so many $5 donors. We got Summergeist, we got Jess Ialachi, we got Siberian Pine Hardwood, we got Jennifer Snyder, we got Dan Mike Dawson Silva, we got Matt Ribeiro, and we got Pierre the Disaster. So thank you to all of the $5 donors. You fucking rule.
We love you. Thank you.
We do love you. And at $10, you get all of that. Plus, you can listen to us record live every week if you want to give us $10 a month. We would be very grateful. So
yeah,
that's Patreon.
That's Patreon.
And, anything else you want to plug this week?
You were on Fearbaiting.
I was on fear baiting this week. It was really, really fun. I had a really good time with Sarah, a regular guest of our podcast. She does a podcast with Blair, who is also very funny. And yeah, we watched One Missed Call, the 2008 movie, and it fucking sucked ass. But the podcast was so fun to record. And it sucked. The movie sucked in a really fun way. So I think it made for a really good content. And yeah, we had a blast recording. So that should be out now. So if you go to noisepace.xyz, you can find it there.
Ooh, I think I'm going to listen to it tomorrow.
Oh, I hope you laugh. I hope it's funny to you.
If I don't laugh once, I would be shocked.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll just message all of you and say, didn't laugh.
I'm sorry, but I spent like an hour and a half listening to this and I didn't laugh one single time. So.
Can I have a refund for all the money I didn't spend on it?
Exactly. So yeah, it was a fun time. So check it out if you like to hear my voice. And also just because Sarah's really funny and Blair's really funny, so check it out anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise that's all I've done lately. That's not this podcast. So otherwise just find me on Twitter at Age of Oddish and on Tumblr at Windfall Island.
Yeah, and you can find me. I'm very ill. I'm sick. But you can find me on Tumblr at Dork Phoenix and Twitter at Alex the Virgo. And I think I've just been a bit more active on Tumblr recently than Twitter because I've just been very busy. But my Twitter's still funny.
It is funny. I do love to read it.
You do love to hear it in my voice as you read it.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's podcast. So we hate cops and so long and good night and mohe every day.
Blue lives don't matter.
Blue lives don't matter.
MCR stands for Men Can't Read.
It fucking does, and you're right. I can't remember who said that first. Was it Summer or was it Alex?
I think it was
whoever it was.
I think it was Alex.
Okay, she's a fucking genius, so.
Yeah.
All right, bye.
Bye.